Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am so excited to talk Disney with you guys. It's been a little while since I've had any Disney related content on my channel, and it's time. Even though I haven't gone in a while, it is time to talk a little bit about Disney, and today I want to share with you my 2020 Disney trip report. Although I vlogged every single day of the trip, it's totally different when you talk about your experience, and that is something I have not yet had an opportunity to do for you guys. And now is the perfect time because we were so lucky to be one of the last Disney booked trips of 2020 that saw any type of normalcy in Disney. So we kind of just made it in there in time, and I am really grateful for that. So today I have my Disney Resort refillable mug, and I'm wearing my ears, and I'm wearing the shirt that I purchased at Festival of the Arts, which was our very first day of our trip. And last night I binge watched all of my vlogs and I wrote down all of the things that I wanted to talk about. So I'm super excited. I am so happy to have you come along. Make sure you're subscribed if you would like to see more fun content from me over here on my channel, and let's get started. So a fellow YouTuber and patron of mine over on my Patreon channel requested that I do a trip report of my 2020 trip, so you can go ahead and check out her channel. It's Jen's Who's Your Home, and I'll go ahead and leave a link to her channel down below. But I thought it was a great idea, and being that I am a Disney travel agent, I go about my trips a little bit differently now than I did before. I want to try new things, I want to experience things that I've never done before so that I can share that information with my clients. So one of the things that I did on this trip was I stayed at two resorts that I had never experienced before. One being the Riviera, which I was super excited about, and the other was Caribbean Beach Resort. And I got to experience the Skyliner for the very first time. I was really scared about that because I am afraid of heights. Also, I finally got to go to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, so there were a lot of new and exciting things that I got to do on this trip. Okay, day one, first official day in Disney, we went to the Festival of the Arts in Epcot, and what I have done on my last couple of trips is rather than taking Disney's Magical Express, I Uber it to the parks so I can get an earlier start on my day. I have still been using the option to have the Magical Express take my luggage because that is great, but they can still take your luggage to the resort for you and it will still magically show up in your room, or you may have to go to the bellhop to pick it up depending on the timing if your room is ready or not yet. But that worked like a charm because my luggage was at the resort, and me and my daughter Emily and my daughter Madison took an Uber directly to Epcot and got our day going pretty quickly. So that was a great way to do it. When we arrived at Epcot, it was hot and it was crowded. I don't usually start my day that late. I think it was around maybe 10:30 in the morning. I'm usually there for a rope drop. So there was a lot of hustle and bustle going on in Epcot already, especially because of Festival of the Arts, and there was so much construction going on. We kept getting lost. We had a hard time finding our way around. So we were really hungry, and Festival of the Arts has some pretty amazing food, and I had a wish list of all of the things that I wanted to try. Unfortunately, the food lines were incredibly long, and there was one thing that I wanted. I can't remember now what it was. I'm sure I talk about it in the vlog, but I waited online for quite a period of time, and when I finally got up to order, they said they didn't even have it. So I wasted my valuable Disney time waiting online for something that they didn't even have. They should have marked the menu outside for people to know, but they didn't. That was disappointing. So getting food in Epcot during the Food and Wine Festival or Festival of the Arts or the Flower and Garden Festival can sometimes be really stressful. It has been for me in the past. I always have such anxiety trying to get food at these events because, number one, I deal with nut allergies with my kids, so that's always kind of scary, and there's usually not seating very much in Epcot, so you're kind of trying to carry around these little plates with crowds of people bumping into you. So I really think I need to reevaluate how I handle eating in Epcot. There's so many options, but at the same time, it can be kind of difficult, especially when you want to go to a bunch of different kiosks and try a bunch of different things and you have kids with you and it's crowded. Yeah, I'm getting anxiety just thinking about it. But anyway, finally we made it to France and I got this, it's like a bread bowl with brie inside. It was so good. I also got a slushy martini. So delicious. I can't even remember what it was made out of, but it was like this pinkish reddish color slushy in a martini glass and it was so good. I don't usually drink mixed drinks, especially really sweet and slushy kind of drinks, but I wanted to try it because I heard good things about it and it was really good. And Emily ended up getting one of those fancy sushi donuts, which she also very much enjoyed. We went to the Beauty and the Beast sing-along in France, and I was so excited for that because Beauty and the Beast is my favorite, and I have not yet had an opportunity to see this particular show. So I was really excited about it, and it was neat because when you first go in, they have costumes from the live action Beauty and the Beast film, and they just have so many fun props and things to look at. So that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the sing-along. All my Disney favorites. There was a little twist on Beauty and the Beast. Like LeFou was actually the one who got Beauty and the Beast together, and it was really cute and comical and funny, and I was feeling pretty good from my little martini that I had with lunch, so that was a lot of fun. After that, we went to Spaceship Earth, and there was rather a long line for that, which was surprising, but I do believe I had a fast pass for that ride, so it was fine. We didn't wait too long. We got right on the fast pass line. We also had an opportunity to make our own shirts. They had a shop set up where you can pick the t-shirt that you want, and then you were able to also pick the decal that you wanted to put on, but it feels more of like a painting on the shirt. Actually, it wasn't a decal. It was kind of like a stencil, and they would spray paint on the shirt, and it would just come out however you chose, whatever colors, whatever stencil. It was really cool. Both of my girls got one. I got the pass holder Figment shirt, and that was a different shop. It wasn't in the same way where it was painted, but really a lot of fun. Madison got to meet Joy. We went on Figment because that's another one I torture my kids with. I love the Figment ride. I think it's so cute. But when we got off, there was a meet and greet with Joy, and Madison was so shy to meet her and she wasn't going to do it, and we finally convinced her to, and she had so much fun. Joy was such a great character to meet, and I guess Madison was her last guest, so she took Madison by the hand and kind of walked away with her and was waving to everyone and dancing with Madison and walking off to wherever she was going to take her break, and then she just said goodbye to Madison there. But it was such a really nice experience, and it's those little moments that you take away from your trip that, like, I always get emotional when I talk about those moments because they're what you remember more so than anything else. It's like those little moments with the interaction with the characters. It's just beautiful. We also got to ride Soarin', which is a definite family favorite. Everyone loves that ride. That is a ride that I can go on over and over again. It's so relaxing and atmospheric and beautiful, and I just love Soarin'. I could sit on that ride all day long. At night, we had dinner at the Garden Grill, and we love going to the Garden Grill anyway, but they had a Festival of the Arts Broadway series package where if you purchased the meal at the Garden Grill, you also had tickets to the Disney on Broadway show, which is always phenomenal. We absolutely loved this show. We saw it the year prior as well, and I think we actually started to cry a little bit. The woman who played the original Ursula on the Broadway showing of The Little Mermaid was singing, and she's unbelievable. And then also the man who played Squidward in the Broadway musical SpongeBob, which we were also lucky enough to see on Broadway, was performing, and he was so fun. And you have some of the cast from The Lion King, and it's an amazing show. I highly recommend it. I would do it every year if I could. I really, really love the Broadway series that they have at Epcot for Festival of the Arts. Madison wanted to go to China to get bubble tea, and they had these really cute little cups with panda bears on them, and the bubble tea was delicious. She liked it so much, and it was really cute. So she was excited that she was able to get that because that was one of the items that she wanted to have while we were in Epcot. After the show, we needed to go and check into the Riviera because it was a long day. We got on our flight at about, I don't even know, I think that we had to be at the airport around 5 in the morning. And we had a very early morning flight and a very long day, and we just needed to get to the resort. And plus I wanted to see the Riviera. I was so excited to check it out. So we missed Epcot Forever, and I was sad about that because I really wanted to see it, and I know it's going to be a short-term thing, so it was likely my only opportunity to ever see it, and I knew that, but I skipped it because the girls were tired and I was tired, and it just wasn't worth pushing. So we finally made it to the Riviera, and I could not have been more impressed than I was. It is such a luxurious and beautiful resort. I absolutely loved everything about it. The artwork was phenomenal, and the whole layout of the resort was really well done. I like how they had all of the restaurants on like the first floor, and then you go up to your rooms, and everything is so easily attainable. You can walk right over to the Skyliner, and the area where you walk through to the Skyliner has all of these beautiful tiles with these mosaic, wonderful, amazing, gorgeous pictures from Disney films such as Rapunzel and Peter Pan, and it was just, I was so enchanted by this resort. I want to stay there again. I can't say enough about it. I know some people didn't love it, and I kind of get it because maybe it has more of like that hotel feel because everything is kind of in one place, but I just thought it was pretty amazing, and it felt really fancy, and it's kind of on a smaller scale, so it doesn't feel so large and overwhelming. It feels intimate, but yet very well done. Okay, the next day of our trip was the Magic Kingdom, and we were pretty groggy in the morning coming off of our full, I don't even know, I think it was like a 12-hour day at Epcot. So we were exhausted, but we had to push through because the Magic Kingdom is definitely my favorite park. It is so magical, and I am always so excited to go. I like to usually bookend my trip with our first day and our last day at the Magic Kingdom. But since this trip was so short, we were not able to do it that way, and this was, at the time, this was our only day at the Magic Kingdom. That changed later in the week, but we really believed it was our only time to go to the Magic Kingdom. So when we woke up in the morning, we decided to do a mobile order at the Riviera at Le Petit Cafe, and unfortunately the mobile ordering wasn't working, so we had to go down to the cafe and order our food, which was fine, but we did have a little situation. My kids have peanut and tree nut allergies, and we ordered oatmeal, and I think my older daughter was the one who did the ordering for that while I was getting other things, and she had neglected to tell them about the nut allergy. So we ended up taking our food over to the Voyagers Lounge, which I love. It's so beautiful, and there are just old toys and memorabilia from old Disney films and just vintage Disney stuff. It was so cool in that room, so that's why I wanted to just go eat there. And as we sat down and I realized that Emily did not tell them about the nut allergy, I told them not to eat. Let me just go double check and make sure it's safe. And it's a good thing I did because they make their oatmeal with almond milk. I would never have thought of that, especially being that so many children have nut allergies and go to Disney, and they don't really emphasize the almond milk. It's not like they have a warning sign that this contains nuts or anything like that. So I was able to avoid a disastrous experience by stopping them from eating the oatmeal. So anyway, I returned it and they got something else, and we were just off to a later start because of that as well, because we had to wait again for more food to be made and all the things. But anyway, we were able to avoid a tragedy, so it was all good in the end. And of course, at that point in time, I got to have my Mickey waffles, so that was good. But even with our glitch, we were able to make it to rope drop at the Magic Kingdom, and we got an early start to our day. Everyone was running to the headliner rides. We ran over to Fantasyland and went on Winnie the Pooh because we had fast passes for the headliner rides that we wanted to go on for later in the afternoon, and Fantasyland gets really busy really fast. So I wanted to get some of those rides out of the way before crowds started heading over there. So that's what we did, and it worked out well. And we also got to go on my favorite ride, the Haunted Mansion. You like my backdrop here of the wallpaper of the Haunted Mansion. So we got to go on that. Pirates of the Caribbean is my second favorite ride. We went on that. We just kind of got all the things done early in the morning. And then we were able to make a lunch reservation at Be Our Guest. Be Our Guest does have counter service for lunch, and I made advanced reservations, so we went there for lunch. And it was pretty cool because this particular time we got to eat in the West Wing. Madison was getting a little bit worried about it. When she was little, she was always scared of the West Wing, but we thought by 9 years old she would be cool with it, and she was apprehensive, but it was okay. It was fun to experience sitting in there. I like it a lot. I ordered from the children's menu because I really like the selection that they have on the children's menu. So I had the grilled cheese sandwich with turkey soup and green beans, and it was really good, and it's the perfect size for me because especially when I'm in the Florida heat and I'm really active, I am not hungry enough to have a really heavy meal in the afternoon, so that worked out perfectly. After lunch for dessert, we got the pineapple upside down, what is it called? The pineapple upside down cake Dole Whip swirl. That's a lot of words to say, but it's so good. It's really filling and sweet, so I would recommend sharing it with someone, but it was the dessert that I wanted, and I was excited to get it because I love pineapple upside down cake, and the Dole Whip is so good, so that was fun. So that night, we ended up going to the Plaza for dinner. My first experience at the Plaza, which is right on Main Street, really close to the castle. They're more well known for their ice cream shop, but the restaurant is unbelievable. I was so impressed with the Plaza. First of all, we were seated in front of the window where we could see the castle while we're sitting there. There is nothing better than having a view of the castle when you are eating dinner. I ordered the meatloaf, which was so good. I am totally going back for that. And Madison was cracking us up because she ordered mac and cheese like she always does, and she could not believe how freaking good the mac and cheese was. So much so, she called the waitress over and told her, like, please let the chef know how good this mac and cheese is and how much I love it. And that was so funny. From a 9-year-old, she was practically brought to tears because she loved the mac and cheese so much. And then the best part of eating at the Plaza, well, not the best part is the castle. The second best part is you are also right next to the Plaza ice cream shop, so you can order one of their amazing sundaes, and I got like a vanilla sundae with peanut butter topping, and it was just so good. So after dinner, we got to ride on the Dwarf's Mine Train, and we also were able to go over to Peter Pan's Flight, which was a lot of fun. And we ended the night with the Happily Ever After fireworks production, which I had never had the opportunity to see. So I was excited for another first-time experience on this trip, and it is all that it is built up to be. The projection on the castle with all of the Disney scenes from all of these beautiful Disney movies throughout the years with the fireworks and the music, and I'm gonna cry again because it is just that amazing. Okay, are you guys tired yet? I think I scare people when I say I'm gonna plan their Disney trips for them. I'm like, you can let me know what your level is because it doesn't have to be as crazy as my trips are. I don't want to scare clients away when they see how I plan a trip, but I can do it at any level. I just really love to absorb myself in all of the Disney magic when I'm there, and I'm so excited. I'm like a child. I can't calm down enough to just relax at the hotel. I just want to do and see everything, and I'm sure that'll fade over the years, but it's never happened for me yet. Okay, the next day we went to Topolino's Terrace for breakfast. They have this amazing character dining experience, and the characters are dressed up in the cutest little artsy outfits. Minnie was like a poet, and Daisy was a dancer and had on her little dance costume, and Donald is like an artist, and Mickey is a painter, and they're super cute in their costumes, and it's just such a unique dining experience. I think it's so much different than other dining that I've done in Disney because it is a more relaxed atmosphere. It's not really a lot of hustle and bustle and noise and rushing. I feel like there are other character dining experiences in Disney that do feel like that, and this was a fancy dining experience that was more relaxed and fun. And of course the characters did come over to the table and sign autographs and give you hugs and take pictures and all of those fun things. But the show that they put on in between that is really cute, and the interaction between the characters is adorable, and I just cannot recommend this character dining experience enough. The food was amazing. Madison got these little waffles that came like on these lollipop sticks with all these different sauces that you could dip it in. It was so good, and I think they had strawberry, caramel, regular syrup. They had all of these different dipping sauces, so that was great. And I got the quiche, which was amazing. The only thing that was a little bit odd for me was I think our breakfast was about 7 in the morning, and it was served with salad and like potatoes. So I'm just not there yet at 7 in the morning. I can't have salad with my coffee. So it would have been nice if they had berries or some kind of a little fruit salad or something like that with it instead. But anyway, it was still really good, and I would get it again. And then we headed over to the Animal Kingdom. I do not rush the Animal Kingdom day because I feel like that should kind of be the day that is almost like a break where you can do things leisurely and not feel rushed to go on rides and enjoy the atmosphere and the animals and go on the different walking trails and things that they have. So Animal Kingdom has always been kind of a chill day for our family. We did have Fast Pass for Navi River Journey, and it broke down, so we were really upset about that. I would not recommend using your Fast Pass for Navi River Journey, but Madison was scared to go on Flight of Passage. She went on it before, but sometimes she gets motion sickness, and she was worried that she would get motion sickness on it. I don't think it's a problem on that ride personally, because I do also suffer from that type of experience on those stimulated rides, but I was fine on Flight of Passage. Anyway, finally, it was up and running, and we were able to go on it, so that was good. And we also went on Dinosaur, which is a favorite of ours. We think it's so much fun. We're always like, we're not gonna make it, we're not gonna make it, and I don't know. It's just something our family really has a good time on the dinosaur ride. And we did the I can never say the word, Kilimanjaro Safari, and a lot of animals were out, so that was great. It was just a really nice day. We were not there for very, very long because we were starting to lose steam at this point, but we did have lunch at Satuli Canteen, which is my favorite place to eat at the Animal Kingdom, and I got the cheeseburger pod, which is my favorite food there. Also got the blueberry cream cheese mousse, which is so good, but let me tell you, there's this like little dollop of this hard white thing on top. Do not eat it. I don't know if there was something wrong with mine, if it went bad. I don't know what it's supposed to smell and taste like, but it was beyond disgusting. I can't even believe they put that on a piece of food. I don't know. I'm gonna have to try it again next time to see if it's supposed to be that way. I don't know what it's made out of, what the deal is with it, but please do not bite into it because it is disgusting. But the rest of it is really good. Don't let it deter you because it is one of the best desserts in Disney by far. And then I also was able to enjoy Blue Margarita over in Pandora, and Emily and Madison got the Night Blossom drink, which was also really good. So it was fun to have some of the fun drinks that Pandora is known for. And then after that, we headed back to the resort because we needed to take a break. We did not go back to the Riviera because we're going to Caribbean Beach now. So then we headed back to our resort, which was now the Caribbean Beach Resort. And we checked in. It is so beautiful at Caribbean Beach. We were in a newly renovated room, and I will leave links above to the vlogs that pertain to the days that I'm talking about. And I also do have complete room walkthroughs and tours and things like that if you want to check out our room at Riviera and Caribbean Beach. But we had a really nice view, and you could see the Skyliners coming and going, and the beach was beautiful. The pool area was so nice. One of my favorite restaurants that I experienced for the first time is at Caribbean Beach. So I really, really enjoyed our stay there. So we got back to the resort and we went in the hot tub. Emily took a nap. Me and Madison went in the hot tub for a little while, showered, and got ready for dinner. We had dinner at Sebastian's Bistro. It was so good. It is really cute inside. It looks like a big beach house that you're staying in, and the menu has a picture of Sebastian on it. And I got the beef empanadas for dinner. They were a little disappointing because the description was ground beef, and it was not that. It was some kind of a beef brisket, so it wasn't what I was wanting, but it was still very good. But the best thing, it's called the Caribbean pull-apart bread rolls, and they have 3 toppings that you dip it in. I'm getting so hungry right now thinking about this. It's an onion topping, guava butter, and jerk oil. All 3 are so good, but if I go back, I'm asking for extra guava butter because we could not eat enough of this bread. I could have just had the bread for dinner. It was so good. So we thoroughly enjoyed that bread. I had a glass of wine, my empanadas, and it was just like such a nice, relaxing end to the day. And it was just the little lull that we needed in our trip so that we could kick it up into high gear for the next day. Because the next day was Hollywood Studios, and we had to get our boarding pass for Rise of the Resistance. And you guys, if you're Disney fans or if you've traveled to Disney anytime recently, you know it is not always easy to get that boarding pass. So we woke up, I think about 4:45 in the morning, and we called an Uber to pick us up. This morning was so stressful. We were so anxious to get there super early. We did arrive nice and early. I think it was like not even 6 o'clock in the morning. We were there. We were not the only ones there either. There was a lot of people at Hollywood Studios prior to 6 a.m. We're getting out of the Uber, and we realize Madison does not have on her magic band. We were freaking out. We were up so early, and the Uber driver was not a morning person and was not happy with us. And I begged him, I'm like, please, can you bring us back to the resort? We'll just run and get it as quick as possible, and we'll come back and we'll go. So we went back to the resort, and Emily ran to get the magic band, and this guy was not happy. He was like, seriously, this is ridiculous. How much longer is this going to take? Like, he just was not really being nice about it, and he charged us a fair amount of money. So it's not like he lost money on his time because he charged us and he totally made out in the end. But anyway, it was all good in the end because we still got into the park by 7 a.m. and we had our phones open. And I do recommend having every person in your party, make sure you're all connected and linked in your My Disney Experience app, but have everyone try for that boarding pass because my phone wasn't even connecting, but Emily was able to connect rather quickly and she got us in. So she got us into group 57, which was later in the day, like after lunchtime. So that kind of helped us to better decide how we were going to play out our day and what rides we were going to go on. The first ride that we headed off to was Millennium Falcon, us and about 1,000 million gazillion other people. But I just wanted to make sure that I got that ride in because it was, again, one of the reasons I was there, something that I had not yet experienced and wanted to be able to tell clients about. So we went on Millennium Falcon. It really wasn't too bad. I think maybe we waited online for 45 minutes, which isn't horrible for a headliner ride. Madison was a gunner, and me and Emily were engineers. When you get on the ride, you get these little cards that tell you like what you're going to be, what your job is once you get on the Millennium Falcon. So that was lots of fun. We loved the Smuggler's Run ride, and we loved driving the Millennium Falcon. There was no issues with motion sickness, so that was good. Madison had no problem with that. She loved this ride so much, she was begging us the rest of the day to go back on it, but there just was not enough time in the day. Our Hollywood Studios day was super busy. So then we made the mistake of having breakfast at Oga's Cantina. And this place is so expensive and so overrated. I think it may have been a better experience if I went with adults and had a drink in the evening, but to go with kids for breakfast and not be able to sit and try to eat in the dark and pay, I think it was $14 or $15 for a glass of blue milk. It was insane. The kids had oatmeal and I had some kind of like a cinnamon roll pastry thing. I think our bill was near $60. It was ridiculous. Madison wasn't even done eating her oatmeal, and the bartender, because we were standing like around the bartender took it away, so she didn't even get to finish her breakfast, and it wasn't a great experience. I'll try it again, maybe in the evening with adults and maybe have like a cocktail, but to go for breakfast, I had a chai tea, the Mugon tea I think it was called. It was very good, but still, I wouldn't waste time there again, especially not in the morning hours. But the atmosphere was really cool and the drinks were really fun. People, even in the morning, were getting those exotic, funky drinks. So I don't want to totally deter people from going because it is really cool to experience, especially if you're a Star Wars fan, but be prepared to spend a lot of money. And then I was happy to go to the Beauty and the Beast show because that's my favorite. I love Beauty and the Beast, like I previously said. So we checked out that show, went on Slinky Dog Dash, which is such a fun ride. I am scared of roller coasters, and especially roller coasters outside I don't really care for. I can do Rock and Roller Coaster. I'm still scared of it, but I love it. It's fun. I feel safer indoors than I do outdoors, so Slinky Dog was very intimidating for me, but it is a super fun ride and I really, really love it. And it's really fun to check it out at night as well when everything's lit up and you have all like the Christmas lights lit up, and Toy Story Land is so beautiful. Galaxy's Edge is so beautiful. I mean, when you're in Hollywood Studios, you can just go from one world to another and be in completely different atmospheres, and it's just incredible how well done these lands are. Toy Story Land really makes you feel like you're a toy in the movie and you're a part of it, and the army men are marching around and they're interacting with the kids and putting on little skits. It's so much fun. In Galaxy's Edge, you have the stormtroopers and you have Chewie walking around and interacting with people, and Rey is running around, and everyone is just part of the scene. It's not staged like it is in other parks where you're just waiting online to do meet and greets and to take pictures with people. They are kind of just living out the movie around you and you feel like you're in it. So that is really cool. Somehow, amazingly, we were able to take a lunch break at our resort this day, and I took the Skyliner over to Caribbean Beach. I did so good on the Skyliner. I was so proud of myself. I was so brave, and it was not scary at all. I loved the Skyliner, and I am usually really freaked out by gondolas at like ski resorts and things like that, and they freak me out so bad, but I was perfectly fine on the Skyliner. It was a very smooth ride. It was really spacious inside, and just listening to the Disney stuff on the speakers coming through kind of eased my mind, and it was all good. So that Skyliner was a super quick and easy ride back to Caribbean Beach Resort. We had lunch at Banana Cabana. I had a cheeseburger and I had this really cool drink. It was the pink guava drink, which was made with Disney barrel rum, which I think is exclusive to Disney. They like have this rum in a barrel and they age it or something, but it was really good and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I liked having that little rest period in the middle of the day because it was not something I anticipated having much of on this trip. After our little break, we went back to Hollywood Studios for dinner at 50's Primetime Cafe, which is always so much fun. I love the 50's theme, and the meatloaf there is really good. The peanut butter and jelly milkshake is really good. I had the grapefruit beer, which is delicious. And then we did get to go do some meet and greets. Madison got to meet Chewy and BB-8, and we took some really fun pictures with them. And Chewy was just like, he was so snuggly and sweet and fun to meet, and BB-8 was just so cute too. So that was a great time. And of course, you have to always end Hollywood Studios with the Fantasmic Show. If you have never seen the Fantasmic Show, I urge you to check it out because it is just unbelievable. So much fun. I still just can't even believe what an amazing production they do nightly. It's insane to me that they could do this show every single night. All right, so we decided that our last day of our trip, the day we were actually flying home, we were going to change it up and go to the Magic Kingdom. Originally, we were doing 2 days in Hollywood Studios, assuming worst case scenario, if we didn't get to go on the Smuggler's Run Millennium Falcon ride, or if we didn't get to go on Rise of the Resistance, we had a second day to try. So since we got to do it all in one day, we decided to head back to the Magic Kingdom. And what I did on this trip, and I've done it on previous trips too, is Tinkerbell in a hotel, where I have a little Tinkerbell doll that the kids bring with them, and every day she leaves a little something for them in the morning, which was super cute. So we did that. I just wanted to mention it before I forget. It was adorable. And every day she would bring them like small things like candy or a lip balm or those little squishy toys that Madison was into at the time. So that was really cute and a fun just little added extra magic to the trip. Okay, so when we arrived at the Magic Kingdom, we went to Starbucks and I got a red velvet swirl loaf cake. I think that's what it was called. It was really good. Got my coffee, and then we headed right over to Space Mountain, which is Madison's favorite ride, so we had to get that in. Unfortunately, I couldn't bring my coffee with me on the line, so I like chugged as much of it as I could, and then we went on Space Mountain. Always so much fun. It's a little bit intense, especially first thing in the morning. That ride really jerks you around, but I love it anyway, and I just love it so much more because Madison is really into that ride. And then we went to the Haunted Mansion again, and I found this. We went to Memento Mori, and I picked up this.
Family, friends, next of kin, summon a spirit from the mansion. Ghoulies travel from near and far, all invited to reside in a jar.
This is my favorite souvenir ever. You guys may have already seen it if you watched my haul. Look at the lid. Yes, Memento Mori has these. They have all of the ghosts from the Haunted Mansion in these jars. This has a little wedding ring hanging from it too. So if I go back to Disney anytime soon, if they're still selling these, I do want to get more. And then we went on Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, which is also a favorite of my kids. I love it too. We went back to Be Our Guest for lunch, another counter service meal at Be Our Guest, and this time we got to sit in the ballroom, which is beautiful, and the chandeliers and the cherubs on the ceiling and the snow outside of the window. I mean, I can't say enough about the ballroom in the Be Our Guest restaurant in the Magic Kingdom. It's so beautiful. Again, I ordered from the kids menu. Ordered Beast a la Beast, which is basically chicken over mashed potatoes, and it was really good and the perfect size for me. We went on the Little Mermaid ride. We went in the Enchanted Tiki Room. That one I had to fight for, but the Tiki Room is cute and it's a nice little break in air conditioning, so I don't mind it. And then we went to the Plaza for ice cream, and this time I got the All-American ice cream sundae. It was so good. It was like vanilla ice cream with Hershey's syrup and I think peanuts. It was really, really good. Finally, we went on the Jungle Cruise. That was our last ride of the trip. So sad to see it come to an end. The rest of the trip getting home kind of really sucked. I'll be perfectly honest with you. We took the bus from the Magic Kingdom to Caribbean Beach. It was the worst bus line I was ever on. We may have waited online for an hour and a half to 2 hours. That's about 2 hours that I could have just went back to the Magic Kingdom and enjoyed myself and went on rides and had fun, and then just called an Uber to take us to the airport. So we waited online forever to get back to the resort, missed our bus, and we had to take a later bus to the airport. It was just this whole debacle. So much unnecessary waiting, and then the flight was bad, and I have an extreme fear of flying. There was smoke on the plane. We smelled something burning. Then they decided we're not going to take off because of that. And we sat on the plane for a few hours while they were figuring out whether or not it was safe enough for us to fly. So you could imagine how terrified I was. Some people got off the plane and decided they weren't going to do it. I was almost one of those people. But believe it or not, Madison and Emily had school the next day because I was really forcing this trip into a regular school week. Do you remember our flight home?
Oh my gosh, I thought I was gonna die.
It was...
I was literally crying, and then my mom, like, as the flight attendant, she was like, what's happening? She's like, I don't know.
It was really funny. I kept calling over the flight attendant. I'm like, are you sure we're okay? And then Madison heard something really loud. Didn't you hear something? Or we both heard it. It was like a flash. There was like a loud like popping noise and then a flash of light.
Yeah, and then like on the wing of the plane, there like was red flashing lights.
Yeah.
Just like...
I think that's normal. But there was like a really bright light all of a sudden. I don't know. So we asked the stewardess if it was okay. And she's like, no, everything's fine. Everything's fine. So then I ordered a glass of wine. She brought me 2.
She was like, okay, if we are gonna die, what wine do you have?
I'm like, just keep it coming. We were like holding each other and crying.
And then Emily was in front of us. She was in the row in front of us, and she was like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, but then Emily was actually really scared. She fessed up to it when we got off the plane. She said somebody had to be brave for Madison. She was like, I knew you weren't going to be. But anyway, and then we finally made it home at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and obviously Madison had to miss school because we did not make it back in time.
Here, to basically explain if you didn't like get what my mom was saying, we got on the plane at 8. We got off the plane about 1 in the morning.
Yeah, that was horrible. That was horrible.
And then we got back at 3.
I might consider driving next time, to be honest, because
I just don't like flying at night.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but like
I usually prefer to fly at night because I don't like to see anything. It makes me feel better. Anyway, that's a wrap. That was our whole Disney vacation of 2020. I hope that you guys enjoyed hearing all about it. I enjoyed revisiting Disney for a little while today, so I hope that you guys did too. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, do all the things to keep me alive here on YouTube, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.